right, let's go to the study room. I think that's set up right. All right, yeah, so here's the session. Yeah, so you can see that pretty good. It's pretty well set up. Isn't that moving? Okay, so you can see that I was down about 335 in the session. And so let's take a look. Okay, so it's still coming in here. Let's take a look at, first we'll look at some of my worst hands that I won. Let's see here. Come on. Where are you at? Okay. Biggest hands I lost right here. We'll go through these. And let's pop these up. All right. All right. So this is what we got here. So I fold. I decide to play King 10 off, which was questionable. I normally don't play Queen 10 off, and I did this time, and I got screwed. So then I get two callers, and the three diamonds come. There's a check. I check. He checks as well, which is, he played well. He checked his flush, and then I hit my queen, and he hits queen as well. So I was dead the whole way through. And then I decide to lead on this one. Unfortunately, he raises me, and then, like an idiot, I call. And I get two pair, which makes it worse. So yeah, this is a bad hand, and I called. Wow, totally bad play there. That was big. That was a big mistake there. Oh, this is why you review your hands. Should have never called that raise in the first place back here. I mean, this is where my game has to get better here. I have to let these go when stuff like this happens. So I lead out and get re-raised here. And this should have been the red flag to get the hell out of the hand right away. And of course I didn't. So that is huge mistake. Let's see. Where can we put this on? Blunder. Okay, so let's check the next hand. And what if I can just go right to the next one, or do I have to, oh, right, I go like this. No, it doesn't take me there. Okay, so I gotta close this one. And let's take a look at this one. So I have ace jack off. I mean, ace jack suited. I raise it up. Fold. I get a 3-bet, and I call. Of course, I do hit a flush draw, and he bets. I call. That's good so far. Nothing wrong with that. Now I hit the ace, and this is where things get weird. He bets pot here. Now, question is, what do you do? Now, this is the most difficult position. You have a flush draw. You have top pair. Kicker's not too good. I call. Maybe at this point I should have just jammed. You know, I'm thinking that I probably should have, the play here should have been just to jam it all in. And I'm going to go over this with my coach, but I think that I should have, instead of just calling here, I should have just put it all in. Because he's not going to let me realize my equity anyway, as you can see on the next card. He just shoves. So, and I folded. So I don't know if that was the right play, but I think the mistake was made here by not just shoving right over the top. Just put it all in. If you lose, you lose at that point, but you realize your full equity. So if my ace was good and he was just doing something weird, I mean, you know, a bluff of some sort, then, you know, I get to realize my full equity here. And if I jam and I hit a club, then boom, I stack him off. But okay, so I don't think this was right to call here. I think, let's see, we'll put this in for review. Okay, so So now let's take it to the next bad hand here. Ace jack suited. I'm on the big blind and he has ace queen. So you can see this is the kind of stuff I'm running into, and this is just a bad. I made some bad calls, but when you're running like this, it's really tough. When you run into ace queen and you have ace jack. So I check, he bets, I raise him and he calls. So then I check and he checks back, and then the queen comes out, and I totally said, so I check again, I totally said he's got to have ace queen here, and I made the freaking call and he has ace queen and I lose. So another bad hand. All right, so let's go here. It's $68 here. Okay, I raise it up. He three bets me and I decide to call. I don't think that was, maybe I should have folded there. But I did call. I do hit the 8. He bets, I call. He bets again. What the hell? Oh, yeah, why am I calling again? Wow. Wow, I don't know what I was doing here. That was just crazy. What the hell did I do? Checked back and he won. But again, 8s, 9s. So, okay, so let's look at something I did right, maybe. And so let's look at something maybe I did right. Wow, I did not have too many. So let's look at this hand. Of course, that one I just got it in. I had aces. He had ace 9. I can't believe that, you know, he even went with that. So I didn't have too many as far as I can tell here. I won. Let's see with this one. King jack. Boom, boom, boom. Top pair. Bets. I raise. He folds. Okay. All right. Good hands. So let me open up a Poker Snowy and let's see here. Let me get this open. I'm going to close down my HUD in order to be able to access exit, and give me 1 second to get Poker Snowy up. We're gonna put these into Poker Snowy and take a look at what happened, why this session went so bad. And okay, we should be able to have access to it now. So let me import from today. We'll import files. And let's go up. And the 16th. And we get the cash, 11/31. Let's see here. What day? 16th. Yeah, here it is. Okay, we'll bring these hands in and we're gonna get Poker Snowy's advice and look at what kind of blunders I had. So just give it a minute here. It'll be loading up and we'll be able to see how well I played. I'm sure that I played like a beginner tonight. I'm sure that is the case. Wow, it's really good to look back at your hands, man, because you're like, what the fuck was I doing there? It's like, wow. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, in poker, when you try to force things, it's just not good. You know, you're trying to force a situation, or you know, and you're not listening to the cues. All right, so let's see, did we get this analyzed? Yeah, this one here. So let's pull it up. Let's view analysis. 357 hands. And let's see what we did here. So, oh, wow. See, now this, sometimes I don't understand. I lost $335 and it's saying I played at advanced level. And I only had 4 blunders. Okay, but I guess the blunders were the ones I'm pretty sure I lost. 67.90 in expected value. So, interesting. All right, so ace king here. When calling indeed is better than folding, this is a perfect hand for playing a bluff raise. Okay, so here when I had ace king of clubs, I don't know if you guys can see that. You should be able to see that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Ace king of clubs. You have taken one ace out of the deck, which increases your chance that your opponents will fold and decreases the probability of another re-raise in case someone calls. You may still flop high pairs, a nut flush, draw, or a gut shot straight draw. So I just called here, and it's saying that I was wrong. I should have raised here. So okay, because I'm on the big blind, and the raise, the 3-bet, and here I should have raised. I thought I made the right play there, but obviously not. And so in that particular spot, you can see that was a blunder there, and I ended up folding. So taking it down, maybe, you know, pre-flop is the best way to win this money, just laying out here. All right, let's look at the next blunder. Yeah, here we already went over this hand. I called when the re-raise came in. That was definitely a mistake there. So we now know that, confirming that this hand that you guys saw where I lost the money by calling, I let out, he raised, and I called. That was dumb. Yeah, big mistake, big blunder right there. Okay, and the same thing. Yeah, that whole hand was a mess. That was the worst hand I played tonight. Wow. Should have just folded queen 10. Oh wait, so here, let me go back on this. So here it's saying I bet. I should have just checked here. Okay, yeah, crazy stuff. That hand was a mess. And that whole hand, look at this. It's like all the blunders, 3 blunders happened in that particular hand. That was the worst hand. That was the worst hand that I played, or that was the worst hand I played right there. That was the biggest like screw up through the whole session. All right, this is why we do this. This is why we look at our hands and review them. It's super important so that you stop making these mistakes and you can move forward. Let's go to some of the errors. How many errors were there? And a lot of these errors, 1 of 51, okay, but a lot of them are pre-flop. They don't necessarily follow Poker Snowy's opening ranges. All right, so here was an error. Okay, so this is post flop. So we're gonna look at errors post flop. I bet here, and it's saying I should have checked. So when I hit my flush, I should have just checked rather than betting. See, I'm with the indication. What if he's got like a ace of spades, you know, or something? And so, but I, you know, so I should have just checked there. All right, let's look at the next one. So it's good to know. I mean, seeing that the next time I play, I'm going to think, no, I was supposed to check in this position. The best play, or the best way to play this, is to check it. Then the next hand, I also hit the flush, and again I bet. And so I should have checked, given him a chance possibly to bluff. I think that would have been the indication. You can earn more money that way if you give them the opportunity to bluff. And of course, he folded. So I tried to get value in this case, and I should have just checked, giving him opportunity to bluff or bet out on it, and then just made the call at that time, or raised. All right, this one here. I'm sitting here with King Jack. He bets out to 21, and I raised to 60. Wow. So here I should have just called. And I'm sitting there going, well, what if he's on a flush draw, you know? So I should have just called here. Let's see what the analysis tools are, if there's anything we can look at there. Strategy advisor, I don't know if that'll give us anything. So the bet fold outcome, check raise success. Oh, probability that at least one opponent will bet if you check. NA, best hand at showdown, 100% bet fold outcome. Probability that everyone will fold if you bet. Okay, all right. So now I see where they're getting their information here. So if I bet half pot, 92% pot. I mean, if I bet half pot or pot, half pot, I'm going to get 27% of the opponents are going to fold to a half pot bet, and 92% are going to fold to a full pot bet. Quarter pot, 2%. So this is the idea of checking in this spot instead of raising, or I raised him. Anyway, should have just called here according to Poker Snowy. You can agree, disagree, but you know, in my game the next time I'll just try checking. All right, let's look at another one. I'm gonna skip any pre-flop stuff. Yeah, we're gonna go to anything that has post-flop. Move through here. Any post-flop mistakes? Okay, these are all pre-flop. Oh wait, that's a mistake there. Okay, let's go back. That's a post-flop mistake. So in this hand, I have 5-6. I just defended from the blind, and I bet. What the fuck was I betting there? I guess I was just trying to take the pot down because he checked. I was representing a jack, and then he said I should have checked. Okay, so all right, I did win. So the thing about Poker Snowy, it doesn't play exploitatively. So it's not like that. It's a totally different way of thinking about the game. And so some things you have to take, you know, in this case, I felt that I could bet him off the hand by representing a jack because I just called from the big blind. He's on the button. I check, which is normal, check through the open razor. And then when he checked back, when the next jack came, I felt that I could rep the jack, and it worked, and I did get the fold. So I don't know if I agree with Poker Snowy in this particular scenario. All right, so let's see. I defend with 5 deuce, and he's saying, okay, let's skip those. Saying the fold there, which is probably correct. But during the hand, I bet out on the turn because he checked. And so my indication in this was that, okay, he's got 2 overcards, possibly ace king, ace queen here. And I felt that, you know, this was more in my range than in his range. So that's why I bet. He's saying I should have checked. I bet, and he called. And then, but anyway, that was a mistake there. So I did end up winning the hand because he did have the ace. And so, all right. So again, these are not blunders. These are just, you know, little technical errors, the things where I could improve. Your opponent raised mid. Okay, that's a pre-flop. We'll skip that. Let's go to and I have a link to Poker Snowy and below my stream if you want to take a look. A bit too tight here, saying that correct is a mixture of call and bluff raises here with ace jack off. All right, so let's see if there's any more post flop. I'm looking for strictly post flop play mistakes. All right, so 5, 6, 7. What did I do? I called, and here I should have folded. So even with a backdoor nut flush draw, I should be folding here. Okay, so I need to start folding these types of hands pre-flop when I get checked and get a raise. Okay, good to know. All right, and then the hand continues, and I bet 7. I guess because I felt that only way I could take it down was I did get the fold in this case, but it's saying it was a mistake. I should have checked. Okay, so yeah, mistake. But I did get the fold as a result of this hand. Okay, so again, you got to take Poker Snowy with a grain of salt, and you just kind of, you know, now here's another bad. This is all right. So here, it is right to play this hand, but raising is better. So he's saying I should have raised it here instead of just called. And one of two things, you know, I like that. I like doing that because it puts a lot of pressure on ace queen off, for that matter. It would have put a lot of pressure on him. Plus you find out where you're at. I mean, you're going to come over the top if they got kings or aces. Queens, kings, you know, they're going to come over the top of you. So you're going to find out where you're at right away. So that makes sense to 3-bet there. Okay. All right. So here, I decide to check raise. And I thought this was like, okay, I want to see where I'm at with the ace. Here they're saying, Poker Snowy saying I should have just called here. Okay, so yeah, that was a mistake there. I probably should have just called in this hand. All right, so then this hand, I have king 3, and this is all right. Here is they're saying I should have checked, and I checked. I should have bet here, and it's tough, right? Okay, so how do you know you should have bet here? He raised, I guess because there's a check. Yeah, so the hand went check on the flop. Okay, check on the flop. And then on the turn card, he's saying the Poker Snowy is saying I should have bet and not just checked here. Okay, makes sense, I think. All right. All right, so here we're not going to hit pre-flop. We're looking for post-flop stuff. All right, here. Now here it's telling me that when he bet, I should have just folded. And that's just, I don't know, it just seems odd, but I don't know about that one. I don't know if you guys have any input on that or not, or anybody does. All right, so next, let's see the next one. All right, that's pre-flop. We'll skip that. We'll go right to post-flop. All right, here's a post-flop. I check. He bets, and it's saying I should have just folded here. All right, 2 overs. I gotta fold more often, I guess. Yeah, I didn't have any spades. I got nothing going on here. I just decided to peel one, and that was incorrect. So negative EV. So that's negative EV to call in that spot. So again, remember that negative EV, if you're calling with just a couple of overcards, it's negative EV to make that call. All right, so let's go on to the next post-flop error. All right, so here I bet 375. Oh, Archon, Ace King, hey, how are you? Just going over my cash session, which is a losing session. Just trying to, I got the hands in Poker Snowy right now, and I'm just kind of going through the errors that I made. Oh yeah, this is my study room. You never seen it, huh? Yeah, this is where we go to review hands and so. Well, that's why I set it up like this, to review hands. And so here we've got, it's not the new setup, it's just the study room. Here the mistake was I bet 375, and he said I should have just checked here. So he checked, and then I let out on this one. And he said I should have just checked here. I didn't have anything. So I don't know. I didn't have any spades. I got nothing going on. So, okay. And then I ended up folding that because he called, and then I check. The turn went check. So the turn went check. And then here I check again, and it's saying that's correct. And then he bet, and then I folded, which is correct. Okay, so we'll move on. All right. So here, all right, we're just looking for post flop errors. Okay, so here's a post flop error. I let out for 2 here. All right, I let out for 2. Yeah, betting 2 was wrong. I should have just checked in this position. Good night, Sherry. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something and had fun, but I appreciate you being there. And so here, yeah, so that's an error there leading out. I should have just checked here. As I ended up getting beat by 6s. So yeah. All right. All right, that's a post-flop one. I mean a pre-flop. We're looking for post-flop errors. So the post-flop errors would be, see if there's any more. I only had, I had 51 errors, but most of them are pre-flop, and I don't necessarily agree with, I don't follow Poker Snowy's opening charts, so they're just a little different. Here's a post-flop error here. Oh, this is the Queen 10. This was my worst hand all night long. This was the worst played hand by me. And I already went over it in the blunders in when we first got here, so I'm gonna skip this one. This was like, I had 3 blunders in this hand. Very bad hand. All right. Okay, let's see if there's any other post flop issues here. Okay, here I played check. Here they checked, and here I should have bet. In position, okay, I should have bet here. And I ended up losing. I did think about betting there, but I decided to check it back. Interesting. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see any. Okay, here's another one. F10. All right, so here I raise. Okay, he leads out. I check. He leads out for 450, and I raise him to 14, and that was a wrong play here as well. I should have just called. Okay. All right, let's hit the next one that has to do with this hand. So then I raise, and then here I bet 27, and he called again. And then, so that was wrong on his part to call according to this, but then I checked on the river, and that move is correct. So that's where we're at now. Okay, so let's see the next one, 43. Okay, that's not one. We're gonna skip that. All right, well, that's one we want to look at. I'm gonna go back here. So I have ace 6 of spades here, and I bet out. I ended up yeah, and then I got check raised. Here I should have just checked. That makes sense. Okay. All right, pocket sixes. You sit mid position with several players behind you, therefore you need to play tight. So it's saying I shouldn't even open pocket sixes, but I'm not even gonna worry about the pre-flop. I just want to stick to the post-flop errors with Poker Snowy. Okay, here's one. All right, so I called here with pocket nines. Why wouldn't, I mean, man, is there anybody out there can tell me why you're open-ended? Why isn't that a good call? I guess because check. I raise from the button after being checked, and I get check raised. So why isn't that a good call? I hold the 9, I block the straight. I'm not sure. I don't really get that one. I hope somebody can in comments, help out with that, or let me know what you think. Okay, so we're gonna look for another blunder here. Queen Jack. I get. All right, this is pre-flop, so we want to go post-flop. Okay, should have. Oh yeah, that's a little too loose on that one. Okay, so here's a post-flop. I have queens. I bet 525 here, and I should have just checked. So he checked. There's 3 players in the hands, or 2 other players. So check, saying I should have just checked here instead of c betting. It's interesting. Okay, good to know. And that's it for the blunders. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the stream. So I appreciate everybody for hanging in there, and till next time, I'll either be doing cash or tournaments. So I hope you come back, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you're at.